little chefs. So if you've got a hot date coming over and you want to impress them, best way to do that is through their stomach. No better ingredient to do that with than chocolate! A very fond memory of a date that ended with this dish, and I'll tell you what, he called me back. So little chefs, today I will be teaching you how to make the ever romantic chocolate mousse. I hope it helps you get lucky.
To start, you're going to want to separate 4 egg yolks from 4 egg whites. Now, whenever you're making a foam out of the egg whites, it's very important to use the isolation method. Use a smaller dish to go ahead and separate out the yolk from the white, and then only when you are certain that absolutely no parts of the egg yolk are in the egg white, go ahead and add it to the rest of the batter. Next, take 3/4 cup of baker's sugar. That's that really super fine sugar that you can find at most grocery stores, and add it to the egg yolks and beat until incorporated for about 4 to 5 minutes. It'll look done once it falls into ribbons back upon itself. Next, go ahead and add 1/4 cup of Grand Marnier to the sugar and yolk mixture. I wouldn't recommend omitting this if you don't want alcohol in your chocolate mousse, because it does play a part in the final consistency of the dish. Now, in a large pot with simmering water, go ahead and place the bowl with the sugar and yolk mixture over it and whisk vigorously for 4 minutes. You're going to want to do this until the yolk mixture is hot to touch. It's going to have the consistency of mayonnaise when you're done. And as soon as that's done cooking, go ahead and immediately transfer it to a bowl with ice water and mix for another 4 minutes. You can tell when it's done because it'll be actually fairly difficult to do any further whisking. Now, in a small saucepan, take 6 ounces of your favorite chocolate. I am using Scharfenberger 70%, and go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of very strong hot coffee. Go ahead and just kind of mix that together because the hot coffee will melt the chocolate a little bit. And then go ahead and just turn that burner onto very, very low heat. Now we're going to slowly mix in 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter. Just be sure not to keep the chocolate over the burner the entire time. As you can see here, I'm just kind of lifting up the pan and letting the residual heat do the rest of the work and melting the butter. This is very important because we don't want our chocolate to burn. Now when that's done, go ahead and add it in 3 installments into the sugar and yolk mixture and just beat until incorporated. Let's get to work on the egg whites. Now I confess I actually typically use 6 egg whites in this recipe just because I really like to have a very light fluffy mousse, but that's completely up to you. Go ahead and beat the egg whites on high for about 2 to 3 minutes until soft peaks form, and then go ahead and add in a tablespoon of sugar and then beat on high for, I'd say, maybe another 30 seconds until stiff peaks form. You can tell when stiff peaks form when they wobble, but they don't fall down. Before we fold in our egg whites, I'm going to add just a little bit of orange zest. The orange flavor goes really, really well with the chocolate flavor. If you've ever made my cookies, you know this to be true. So just go ahead and stir that in and then add in your first batch of egg whites and use your whisk to actually beat this in because it's going to be kind of stiff at first. Then the next 2 installments, you will want to use just a spatula and then just kind of gently fold in the egg whites. This will give our mousse its final texture, which is really light and fluffy and kind of gummy. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I'm getting hungry just watching this. But once you got that done, go ahead and stick it in the refrigerator for about an hour or 2, and then you're ready to serve.
And there you have it, little chefs. In just under 20 minutes, you too can make a decadent and luscious dessert. Well, little chefs, I will see you soon. Until then, take care.